Welcome to the metropolis, the big city. This is where tech, trends, and culture meet. Meet the people. See the sights. Walk the city streets. And experience the lifestyle. This is your first-class ticket to the cities of the world. Philadelphia, the fifth most populous state in America, Philadelphia. It is considered a consolidated city-county with a mix of history and culture to offer and a top study destination. What should we know about Philadelphia's history? For one, it is considered a bastion of American history. Founded in 1682 by William Penn. The Declaration of Independence was signed here, as well as the Constitution. In fact, the city was actually the nation's capital for 10 years when D.C. was under construction. Proof of the city's long-grown history are its iconic destinations. There are the Liberty Bell, Independence Hall, and the Philadelphia Museum of Art, to name a few. In Philly, you get to sample the best of Italy and America's culinary worlds. The city's experience of the Renaissance in the 1970s brought about some of America's most iconic foods. One of the most popular ones is the cheesesteak. Learn how to order one like the locals do, and you'll never go wrong. And then, of course, there's the city's public art. Philadelphia is known for being a free city, a beautiful one that nurtures art practically everywhere. You'll come across walls covered in murals, large-scale paintings, and the like. Public statues are sights to see too. The city also imposes a mural arts program that commissions artworks in the city to discourage graffiti and at the same time beautify the surroundings. Popular places to experience art in the city are the Fairmount Park and the Philadelphia Magic Gardens. The city is also hailed for its baseball culture. The Phillies team, considered the oldest in professional sports, was founded way back in 1883. They never changed cities or names. This encouraged devotion of the locals and fans to the team. The city is one of the few in America with all major four teams playing within its boundaries. So no doubt the sports fandom is highly alive in Philly. Last but not least is the Philadelphia lifestyle. It has in fact strict liquor laws, but the bars and pubs you can visit are always worth it. The bar scene in Philadelphia is remarkable. It's earned the title of Philadelphia as America's best beer drinking city. Now you know where to go to spend your last day in Philly. Oslo. One of the world's largest capital cities, Oslo. What's remarkable about the place is only 20% of the area has been developed, and the rest of it are parks, protected forests, hills, and lakes. Parks and open spaces are essential in Oslo's landscape, and they can easily be accessed from almost any point from the city. The center is very convenient, with trails and passages that connect to the public spaces and pedestrian-friendly areas. Just the same, amid its natural attractions, Oslo likewise boasts a rich cultural scene you should see. Among its famous landmarks are the sculptures of Gustav Vigeland. You can stroll through the town center to witness many of its historical structures. One of the popular attractions is the 1,000-year-old Viking ship. Get to know the Norwegian capital better by walking through the old neighborhoods in the Oslo fjord. The districts are near the famous landmarks, such as the National Opera and Ballet Building, a testament to their rich culture. Then, of course, there's the popular Akershus Fortress. It offers great views of the harbors. Nearby, there is the Museum of the Norwegian Resistance and a chapel which houses the remains of the original medieval castle. You'll also see the weapons of the armed forces and find out about their defense groups. There's the Center of Government and Administration, the City Hall and Parliament. The City Hall is one of Oslo's greatest landmarks. It is enormously huge, with an imposing square building that's built of concrete faced with brick. One of the towers has the 38 bells that you can hear all the way to the harbor area. The hall is filled with sculptures and relics, and the interiors are magnificent too. It was built and designed by the most famous Norwegian artists. Parks and open spaces are the pride of Oslo, and one of the famous ones is the celebrated Vigeland Sculpture Park. You'll be amazed at its lush green grounds that are decorated with figures of bronze, granite, and forged iron. These figures represent human emotions from happiness to despair. A trip to the Big Joy Peninsula is also great for its historical background and fantastic scenery. You'll definitely marvel at how these were made in the eras back then. Montreal. The real story behind the city of Montreal. Its name originated from Mount Royal, the triple-peaked hill in the heart of the city. It was first called Ville Marie, or the City of Mary. Montreal is the most populous city in Quebec and second most populous city in Canada, with about 1.65 million residents. The city's official language is French, spoken by more than 60% of the population. Montreal is conveniently nestled between the shores of the St. Lawrence River. One of its great outdoor escapes is, of course, Mount Royal. Aside from hiking the mountain during the summer, try cross-country skiing in the winter, or you can also try biking or skating. Better yet, you can just hang around and enjoy the view. But what's notable about Mount Royal is a cross that rests at the peak of it. The city's laws forbid any building or skyscraper to be built higher than it to tower over the mountain and the famous cross. The laws are implemented to keep the natural ambiance of the place and most especially obstruct the view of the wonderful city skyline. Meanwhile, its culinary delights are top-notch too. Food tours are quite usual in Montreal, with the various communities and cuisines populating the place. Walking around the city will allow you to discover and learn about its historic and cultural roots through food. Definitely a delicious way to get to know the city. For a dose of the real historic spots, visit Old Montreal, also known as the Old Quarter. The view is reminiscent of the feel and ambiance of Europe. It's got narrow cobblestone streets lined with galleries, restaurants, and boutiques. The city doesn't fall short of artistic inspiration. And then, of course, there's shopping. Here in Montreal, it's considered a sport, and one must shop with a passion. Score great bargains as the city offers some of the most creative designs from the best in Canada. In fact, the people of Montreal like to pride themselves for their impeccable taste and thriving fashion city. St. Catherine Street is where you'll find some of the best international brand names. All the major shopping centers can be found there. And last but not the least, the city is, oddly enough, also known for its best spa treatments. There's even one that floats on the St. Lawrence River. So good, you can in fact spend an entire day in it. It's a great way to cap off your trip. Chicago. Chicago, the Windy City. There's just anything and everything to do about town. Need a lowdown of the top spots in Chicago? Nestled along the shores of Lake Michigan, the city has become a destination known for its vibrant art scene, cultural attractions, excellent shopping, and majestic architecture. The city's art and architecture takes cues from 20th century design. Architects Louis Sullivan and Frank Lloyd Wright, and artists like Picasso, Miro, Dubuffet, and Chagall are the known design mavens who've beautified the city. There's the Art Institute of Chicago, a world-class museum that holds thousands of art masterpieces. Its collection dates from thousands of years back, including paintings, prints, photography, sculptures, and even architectural drawings, textiles, and decorative art. Surely a feat for the eyes. Impressionist and post-impressionist paintings, including Georges Seurat's 1884 A Sunday Afternoon on La Grande Jatte, Renoir's 1879 Acrobats at the Cirque Fernando, and numerous paintings by Claude Monet are among the popular ones in the museum. The city isn't short of spectacular sports events too. There's the Chicago Bears in American football, the Chicago White Sox and Cubs in baseball, and who wouldn't forget the Chicago Bulls in basketball? The Millennium Park is also a hip place to visit, being a venue for many creative events. The park has a pavilion for outdoor concerts, an interactive fountain, plus a huge garden and plaza. Chicago also boasts of the famous Michigan Avenue, one of the most attractive boulevards in the U.S. Here, you will chance upon rows and rows of galleries, boutiques, and luxury shops. People often drop by the Wrigley Building, the famous Tribune Tower, and the John Hancock Center. The Navy Pier, which dates back to 1916, is another famous tourist spot. It's got up to 50 acres of gardens, attractions, restaurants, shops, concert venues, botanical gardens, and parks. There's a huge Ferris wheel and a carousel too. There's a 3D IMAX theater and the Chicago Shakespeare Theater for classical performances. The pier is most known for its sightseeing tours and excursions. Better catch one during your visit. Last but not least are the destinations for learning. Visit the Museum of Science and Industry or the Field Museum of Natural History for some educational fun. Boston. What do you know about Boston? Boston is the capital city of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in the United States, and the largest too, being about 48 square miles or 124 square kilometers in size, and an estimated population of about 667,137 residents. With that, Boston becomes the largest city in New England and comes in as the 23rd largest city in the United States. Boston is a city for those with a knack for history. It's always interesting to explore, but aside from that, you can appreciate it for its mix of offerings. You can enjoy the view of the skyline or its many art galleries and museums. Take a walk in the many parks or, of course, the prime tourist spots. Probably the most popular are their nautical tours and historical legends that we're here to find out more about. The city is filled with historical sites that are quite easy to discover. There's the Freedom Trail. There's Paul Revere's home. These sites are all reflective of the Great Revolution, where one will be reminded of America's incredible history. Next, of course, are the museums, which are easily accessible throughout the city. Here you'll come across a mix of fine arts, history, and scientific discoveries. There's the famous Charles River just near the Science Museum, as well as the Boston Public Library and Copley Square, among others. Popular tourist attractions are of course part of the city. Boston has got a great outdoor space that's home to many entertainment events. Tourists and locals alike enjoy the happenings that are held here. You can choose from a lot of various activities, from seeing the historic churches to visiting the sea animals or the Fenway Park. Take your pick! And then there are the friendly neighborhoods. It's what makes the city of Boston unique. Each area has its own identity and mix of history, cuisine, attractions, and urban scenery. You can enjoy strolling through the different areas and see everything from brownstones to skyscrapers. Last but not the least, the city is also famous for its diverse culinary offerings. They have dim sum in Chinatown and authentic Mexican food in Fort Point. Then there's also the incredibly good homemade Italian food in the North End. Each boasts of distinct tastes that make up the uniquely diverse Boston city. Washington. So much to do, so much to see in Washington, D.C. The city is considered one of the most popular tourist destinations in the United States. It's got historical landmarks, parks, and neighborhoods, each with a mix of attractions and activities to offer. The national monuments are definitely must-sees in D.C. Popular ones are the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the Jefferson Memorial and Vietnam Memorial, and the World War II Memorial. These are places that say a lot about the country's history and national heroes. Washington, D.C. has got up to 19 museums that cover subjects from art to space exploration. There are also interactive exhibitions on schedule that's fit for the entire family to enjoy. The 3 houses of the government are also key places to visit. These are the White House, the Capitol, and the Supreme Court. Impressive buildings on the outside, these are also places for you to understand about the U.S. government and history. Meanwhile, in Georgetown, you'll find a shopper's paradise. It is considered DC's historic waterfront that's always busy with activity. Aside from the shopping, the place is lined with restaurants too. You'll find one of every cuisine practically known to the world. And then of course, there are the majestic views. The Potomac River is a favorite as well. Definitely worth the stroll around the city. Washington, D.C. also has its own historic park. It offers a nice recluse from the busy city life. You can simply take a stroll around, go biking or kayaking, or you can take a tour and learn about its history. The National Park also serves as venue for all things music. Pop, country, folk, blues, orchestra, dance, theater, and opera. You name it, they've got it. The place is also known for hosting innovative performance art and multimedia presentations there. For a taste of the city's culture, catch a theatrical production at the JFK Center for Performing Arts. You'll definitely witness entertainment at its finest. Aside from the shows, there are guided tours as well, where you'll explore the paintings, sculptures, and other works of art around the center. INCHEON, a city with a lot to offer. Incheon in South Korea. There are many things to do, places to see, eat and drink in, and events to take part in. It's got a rich history, plus interesting cultural sites to visit. It's probably most known for being the home of the International Incheon Airport. Incheon City is located in the northwestern area of South Korea. Seoul and Bucheon are nearby, as well as Goyang and Asan. The city has a population of about 2.8 million people. It is considered the third biggest city in South Korea. The city is known for its majestic natural landscape, from white sand beaches to unique rock formations. One of the most popular is the Yeolwangni Beach, offering pristine waters and great sand too. Tourists often visit this beach to watch the sunset and take lots and lots of photos. The beach is also surrounded by a grove of pine trees, completing the picturesque view. Aside from Incheon's beaches, being a sight to see, it's also where you can try activities such as swimming, fishing, and some water sports. Incheon is also known for its great historical and cultural structures. There's a Museum of Korea Emigration History. You can go through a display of exhibits that tell the stories of the country's first emigrants. There's also the Incheon Landing Operation Memorial Hall. It is a memorial hall that features photos of military arms used by both the North and South Korean military. Then, there's the architectural masterpiece, Incheon Bridge. It is considered the longest bridge in Korea. It's linked to the world-famous international airport and is also one of the best places to witness the sunset. Incheon is also known for its special market. Want a taste of their famous fried chicken? Or buy the freshest fish from the port? The marketplace is where you should go. Aside from the fresh food, some markets also have amusement parks in it. Some are near the coastline where you can enjoy the view or try an activity. Bupyeong is where you can go shopping in Incheon City. It is linked to the subway stations, so it'll be easy to find and accessible as well. Not only is it a mecca for fashionable clothes, you'll find great products that are for your health and beauty. It's time for us to go! Pack your bags and get your tickets ready. And we'll see you on the next destination. Catch us again next time on Cities of the World.